Hello everyone, this is Katy and Grin. Join us as we play Dungeons & Dragons the 5th edition around ye old table, throwing dice, telling stories, and creating legacies. Joining me around ye old table via the scrying spell is our special guest, once again, the Insight Chicks. Welcome ladies. Why don't you go ahead and take a little time to tell the viewers a little bit about yourselves and about the characters that you will be playing for this special episode.
I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
My name's Emma. I'm one half of Insight Chicks, and today I'm playing, or kind of bringing back Twilight Shadow Blue, a halfling wizard with a particular love of the old necromancy.
And I'm Katy, and in this session I will be bringing back Uncle. She is a satyr bard, and she is all about the positive, cheery vibes.
Yeah. Day and night over
Where
here.
can everybody find you guys?
At Insight Chicks on Instagram.
Awesome. And I am Eric, and I have the privilege of being the Grin Master for this special episode of our tale. So, our story begins in the Protector's Enclave district of the city of Neverwinter, several weeks after the events of Solaris. As the two of you, Twilight and Uncle, are traveling from the location of, traveling to, let me correct myself, the former location of the House of Knowledge, which was reduced to ruins as a result of a quake during the Great Cataclysm, or the Cataclysm. The ruins now serve as a refugee camp for refugees from the River District. The reason for your quest to these ruins stems from your recent trip to a fey realm known as the Twisted Timbers. A prophet of the All-Father had foretold about Twilight the Great, as you both had learned from Auntie, a variant of Uncle. During your research on prophets, prophecies, deities, the multiverse, the Prince of Demons, and much, much more, you both have come to the conclusion and believe that the answer that you are seeking to these questions lie within the ruins of the House of Knowledge and its lost vault of knowledge, with its caretaker, Lore Master Atlavist, spelled A-T-L-A-V-A-S-T. The time of day is mid-afternoon. You find yourselves about 400 feet or so in the distance from where you approach, or from where your approach is, of a massive ruined structure of the temple, once dedicated to Agma, the god of knowledge, that is now, or has become known as, the House of Knowledge. The remaining shell now houses a refugee camp comprised of tents and simple structures of various sizes and numbers. Moving about the camp are various humanoids going about what seems to be like daily routines, and all seems seemingly peaceful. There are watchtowers that have been constructed out of debris from the House of Knowledge that are all present through the perimeter, or throughout the perimeter, as you will see several guards within the towers keeping watch over the area with spyglasses. Now, I will show you a map. I hope. And hopefully you guys see that map.
Yes. Let's see.
Awesome. Now, you're just outside kind of where your tokens currently are. I ask you, ladies, what you wish to do.
So, hold on, we're just trying to move around the map at the moment. We'll just get to the map view. Zoom out a little bit. just zoom in.
We're just getting used to using new
New technology.
new technology for us.
Oh, you need the...
Yeah. Sorry about this.
Right. So we're about 400 feet out.
Correct. So your tokens, what you can see on the map, essentially you guys are like beyond that point. I just didn't want to draw a large map at 400 feet out.
You got
good.
I'm so sorry, we're just trying to get to a point where we can see where our tokens are. Move down the bottom.
Just down the bottom.
There
we
we are.
go. We got there. Yay.
Okay, is there a guard on watch? Does it seem guarded?
Each one of the towers, these little like white cottoned or white cloth towers are like 15-foot tall watchtowers.
Mhm.
There are 2 guards at what you would assume to be kind of the main entrance of the ruins, and there's one kind of patrolling the grounds. Seemingly, at this point, nobody spotted you in the distance.
Okay.
Okay. Let's have a little look around the side. So, and we've got someone just in front of us. That's
we're a
one
bit further out.
We're a bit further out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does it seem like we're going to struggle to get access?
It looks as if the camp itself is peaceful,
Mhm.
but you know how this works. Even though it looks peaceful, it could be a little bit not peaceful.
What do you think we should do? Should we maybe go up and have a word with them? If they're so friendly around here.
I would encourage conversation and being open and honest with them. Unless you think there's anything we should be hiding.
I mean, usually we're having to hide quite a lot because, you know, we never know what sort of trouble we tend to get ourselves into a lot. I mean, we could just go and maybe just have a little chat and say hello.
And see if there's access that we can gain.
And if not, we just ask for directions to the nearest tavern. Because we're always looking for a tavern, you know, it's D&D.
Yeah, short of anything else glaringly standing out to us, me, I think she would approach a guard to kind of assess the situation of getting in, and if it seems like it might be difficult, if they can persuade their way in.
Okay. So you guys are going to start kind of casually marching towards the ruins. And as you do, you will see a guard beginning to make his approach towards the 2 of you, kind of meeting you halfway. So around 150 to 200 feet, you'll be approached by the guard as you enter or begin to approach the ruins. The guard will stop you, kind of raises his hand. He has his other hand kind of near his sidearm, which looks like a short sword.
Mm-hmm.
What business do you have here?
We're simply coming to speak to the refugees and see if we can offer our services. She's going to bat her eyelids a little bit.
Okay. You're going to see a little bit of a smile and a little bit of a kind of a blushing reaction back from your little flirtation. He's going to say to you, "Very well, you may enter."
Oh, wonderful.
And
Twilight.
you'll step off to the side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need us to move on here for us or?
Nope. So you guys will walk the rest of the way. There'll be another guard that approaches, which kind of sets up our map. You'll be approached by that guard where your tokens currently are. Let me transition over for viewers.
Great.
At that point, the guard will stop you again, as you'll hear the other guard that you met a few hundred feet back. You can see and hear that he's kind of approaching very somberly, kind of walking to get back into position. This guard will be a female guard, and she says, "What business do you have here?"
We've come to offer our services to the refugees to see if there's anything we can do to help.
Okay, and then she kind of like looks between the 2 of you. The other guard will kind of like nod his head and wave his hand, kind of acknowledging. She'll say, "Let me take you to the head of the camp here. Her name is Beauty.
Oh, what a lovely name.
I wonder if she was given that from birth, or maybe it was a self-given name.
Whatever it is, it's lovely to
So the guard is going to begin to lead you to this direction here. I'll try to move you guys with me. You follow the guard. There's 2 guards, both of which kind of keep their hands lightly on their sidearms. And then you will be kind of following through. As you enter into this refugee camp, you can see that there are still signs and evidence that this used to be a tower dedicated to the god of Agma. A lot of the iconography and statues and different things like that are kind of in ruined, cracked, in rubble, definitely from the cataclysm. And for those of you with very limited knowledge, the cataclysm was an event that happened in Neverwinter that created a giant rift or tear kind of in the center of the city, without diving into like deep lore. And it affected different parts of the city. And this is just kind of the results of that. And it happened many, many, many years ago. There are lavish tents of various color and design that you're kind of encountering. Small children playing with various pets and having a good time. People doing daily chores, maybe like laundry, or performing, things like, tool sharpening or preparing things to be sold, etc., etc. Just kind of this whole kind of very cozy, more like a village feel than a camp, if you will. The evidence shows that they've been here for quite some time. This is not something that's just happened. This looks like they've been rooted here for years upon years, and this kind of lifestyle is fine by them. There are some permanent structures that you'll see, not too many, but there's a few small like log cabins or homesteads that have kind of been built in here. As you are led off to the right of the entrance, you'll be led to a very large, opulent-looking tent, in which you'll see a female guard standing there of half-orc ancestry. She looks a little less welcoming than the other guards you've encountered up to this point. And she kind of like gives the eyes directly towards the 2 of you, very protective-like, much like a good guard would do. This guard, the female guard that had led you up to this point, is going to step off to the side, the opposite side of the tent, and then we'll usher you to go into the tent. So if you ladies want to take control, you can kind of just move your way into the little tent.
Yeah. Just work it out. How to move myself. Sorry about that. Token control, and then there we go.
There you go.
So we're going to head on into the tent.
Now, stepping inside this tent, there is immediately a very strong sense or smell of like rosewood incense that's being burnt, mixed with a little bit of lavender that kind of gives a comforting feeling. There are candles and lanterns that provide a good source of light to where things are visible. You can see there's a lot of opulent looking furniture, and there's a big large desk, and behind this desk you're going to see a tiefling female, and behind or on her, it would be her left shoulder, is going to be another human male guard standing there. The tiefling female, which you presume to be Beauty, let me find my description, red-skinned, very petite horns that are like barely showing through a full head of raven black hair. The hair has been braided back into a very long ponytail, so it's kind of got those like Viking braids that kind of like work back, and it all kind of intertwines into a very long ponytail. She's very charismatic. You can see, like, when she looks, she immediately, her eyes light up. There's this very charismatic smile. You can see that she has very nice clothing on. It's revealing inappropriate parts, just enough to be flirty. She has well manicured kind of nails and accoutrement, like jewelry and bracelets that hang from it, kind of displaying her wealth or her like or desire for design, if you will.
Go on, you go.
tiefling, being Beauty, will look as she kind of like turns into her chair and leans into her desk, kind of putting her elbows in, and she kind of takes her hands, steepling them to kind of rest her chin upon. And she says, "So, why have you come to my camp? And what can I help you with?"
I think Uncle's just going to be absolutely besotted with the beauty of her. She's like, oh, I see why they call you Beauty. You're going to have to teach me how you've done your hair.
"Oh, most certainly," is what she'll say.
She said, "We'll just give you a run for your money, Uncle. So we're just travellers, and we're just wondering if we can, if there's anything we can do to help the refugees here."
"Well, that is very flattering, but the refugees are just fine. We've done pretty well for ourselves. This is our home now," is what she says.
It's a beautiful home.
"Thank you."
How long have you been here?"
We've been here for several years. Most of us. Some people come, other people's go. Where are my manners? Would you perhaps like something to drink? As she stands behind her desk and moves to kind of a small little piece of furniture that would be like equivalent to like a dry bar, essentially, where she's got either liquors, and she looks like she has a small pot of tea that's kind of slowly brewing.
Yes, I would love something to drink.
"What can I get for you, dear?"
Oh, do you have... She'll sniff the air, picking up on the rose and lavender scent. She'll be like, any kind of rose tea?
"But of course," is what she's going to say as she begins to kind of start picking up the things to prepare the cup of tea for you. "Please come, sit." And she has these very plush, kind of like chaise lounge chairs, very large, overly stuffed, and very comfortable looking like pillows, or kind of like a beanbag like chair kind of set around this, sitting and resting on this beautiful carpet.
I'll happily take a seat. Somewhat foolishly, I want to trust a complete it.
I know you will. I will take a seat with Uncle, not wanting to look too suspicious at the moment.
Sure. As you kind of rest yourselves into the seat, the comfort of the cushions just kind of like wrap up and kind of hug all the appropriate spots, all the pressure points, and it's just like extremely comfortable. Like you just kind of melt into the chair and the seat. She quickly finishes up kind of tapping her little wooden spoon that she has on the cup to kind of dispense any residue from stirring the tea. She sets it gently, and she brings the tea in the little saucer over and hands it to you, Uncle. "Anything for you, my dear," as she looks towards you, Twilight.
I'm kind of looking down at Uncle's tea, like, have you got anything a bit stronger?
She moves over towards more of the liquor kind of section, if that's what your interest is, or she has something more like an espresso, more of a stronger caffeine fix, if that's what you're...
What's the time of the day at the moment? It's afternoon.
I think it was like afternoon.
I'll have an aperitif. I think she'll be like, I think I want something from the liquor cabinet. Is there anything you've got there that's quite sour?
Okay, so she will go and immediately find something, and she looks and she says, "Yes, this will do." She pulls it up, and this is beautiful, like green bottle that kind of almost twists up with this liquid in it. And then she takes the cap off this bottle and pours it into, small little half glass, if you will. The liquid is green, like this beautiful emerald green. And now you can see when she pours the liquid that the bottle's glass is actually clear, and the liquid inside of it was very brilliant green. So she brings over the glass and hands it to you. You take a sniff, and it's equivalent to absinthe.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only a little halfling. That's going to go straight to my head. I don't know, though. Probably can have quite a lot, to be fair.
So she takes a seat on a nearby plush chair, kind of crosses her legs, and rests her arms on the armrest of the chair. The two of you look like travelers for sure, as she kind of like studies you with her kind of fiery red eyes. So what's the real reason that you're here?
Honestly, I heard there were refugees and didn't expect you to be as well situated as you are. I'm a travelling bard, you see, and thought I could bring cheer, but it seems that you're perfectly cheery as it is.
It also might be quite helpful if maybe we were to get into the afternoon, if we could maybe take some rest for tonight. You know, one glass of this stuff, and she's sort of swilling it around in her hand, I think would put me out quite quickly.
But of course, I can prepare a very comfortable residence for you to rest tonight, if that is what you wish.
And just that would be wonderful. But I'm just quite amazed by this place, actually. I don't really know of it too well. Do you know much of this?
Can you both roll me an insight check?
Yeah.
After you say that phrase.
Oh,
Dirty 20.
just getting up my stats. I have got a 16. Good start for the insight checks.
Both of you will notice that when you kind of say the phrase about how lovely the place is, she is just like kind of like a peacock ruffling its feathers, just very proud, and she's very honored that all the work she's put into kind of making this place feel very cozy and comfortable is basically paying off.
I assume that you are the person that put in all this effort to make it as lovely as it is. What brought you to here? What made you settle here? I'm sure it can't have been this lovely before if it is in ruins.
It was in much need of my touch, dear, is what she says, for sure.
So you're...
But,
go on.
But it's a place to call home, as our home in the River District is, or was, taken from us the many years ago due to the cataclysm and the creatures and things that come up from the big rift in the center of Neverwinter. But that is all past us now.
So, you're head of a camp, but you also seem to be a bit of an interior decorator as well. It's kind of it's an odd role you take, really. What would you say your main role is here in the camp?
Some would call me a ruler. Some would call me a governor. Some would call me president. There are many titles for what I do here. I attempt to keep the peace and keep things running and beautiful, is what she says with a smile.
I hope nothing ever jeopardizes your peace.
No.
Do you have many travellers coming your way?
We have some, yes.
And do they stay long?
Some do. Some decide to stay longer than others. Some take a respite, like you have asked for. And then she's going to kind of like take her hand and kind of like swirl her finger around a little bit, and then you're going to see the movement of the guard that was standing behind her, I think it was her left shoulder in the back. He's going to go walk up to her and leans down, and she says, kind of leaning into him, and says, "Prepare a place for our guest tonight." And he kind of nods, and he'll step out of the tent.
Uncle will beam. I'm fully trusting.
I know. I was just one thing I was wondering. I mean, this is such a beautiful place to rest tonight. Is there any chance we could have maybe a tour or just an explanation to the area?
Which would you prefer, for me to explain or a tour?
What do you think? Do you think maybe a tour, Uncle?
I think a tour would be lovely. Would you be guiding it?
Is that what you would like?
Very much so. I don't think.
Well, then follow me, is what she'll say. And she kind of easily kind of glides out of her chair. She is going to kind of straighten up her dress, which is full of like floral patterns, and she kind of straightens and adjusts, gets herself kind of proper, kind of dusting things off. She likes to present herself as well put together for sure. And then she's going to start heading towards the entrance of the tent.
Mm-hmm. Uncle will do the same. She'll make sure that her dress is appropriately aesthetic as well. She has a similar kind of vibe. She's going to want to look her best.
Twilight is literally just downing her drink and putting it on the side and just kind of yeah.
Go ahead and give me a con save for that one, because that's pretty strong.
How is my constitution? Just straight con.
Give me a con save.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a 8.
So when you go to stand after you've set down the glass, you feel great, and then it all kind of hits you, and you kind of brace yourself on the seat, and you're like, whoa. You're not completely drunk for sure, but you can definitely feel that this one kind of drink was enough to kind of put you on the way of tipsiness for sure.
Excellent. I don't think she's that mad about it, to be fair. I think it's just giving her a little buzz for the rest of the evening.
Yeah.
One thing she's going to be doing on this tour is I want to be looking around sort of for any knowledge of, I think it was the ruins, wasn't it? And,
I was going to say, looking for any kind of areas that maybe would, in Uncle's mind, show that there is maybe an underground or something that still persists from the original temple.
Sure. So the tour will start basically on this wing of the old temple, and you can see that there's multiple tents. Again, there's plenty of people kind of going about their daily chores. You're going to also notice that the half-orc kind of female is definitely kind of keeping her eye on you as Beauty is giving you the tour. Go ahead and give me perception checks as Beauty is going to start saying, as most of everyone knows that this was once the temple of Agma, referred to as the House of Knowledge. Go ahead with your numbers.
I got 22.
I got 6.
So Uncle, taking a look around, you're pretty much kind of following through, and then you're looking and you're seeing a lot of, like I said, the iconography. It looks like it has been destroyed. You're also noticing that some of it may have been defaced with the 22 at this point. You are not seeing any evidence of secrety kind of underground passageways or hidden things at this point.
Gotcha. But the iconography is defaced.
Some of it, and it's very subtle that without a 22, obviously, you wouldn't have picked up on. Twilight, you're completely enamored with the structure, trying to kind of put all the pieces together as Beauty is just going on the tour guide kind of mode.
I think I think that absinthe just got to me, and I'm looking, and everything's so blurry that actually I kind of think I kind of forgotten where I am for a bit. This is quite worrying that the trusting one is.
I've never sampled in real life the absinthe, but some of it has hallucinatory kind of properties that I've been informed of. So there are points and times when you look and see almost like shadow or ghost images kind of going about, and it trips you out a little bit. These ghost images or these kind of shadowy effects look as if they are some sort of holy person that brandishes symbols of Agma, as if they could be like ghost imprints or whatever of previous occupants or residents of the temple. But then when you kind of shake it off, it goes back to not seeing them.
I mean, I quite like things dead and scary, so I think I'd just be there going, hello, how are you? Just waving at the ghost. So Uncle kind of just watches me. Yeah, waving into
Beauty
the air.
is going to lean to you, Uncle, and say, "Is your friend okay? Was the drink too strong for her?"
Well, I'm a little concerned. She appears to be talking to the air. But it wouldn't be the first time she's seen things, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Did you say something, Uncle?
I see.
She's just going to turn to Beauty and be like, wizards.
Coming from a bard.
So at this point, you'll be led from this kind of wing or section into kind of the center section,
She kind of like...
and it continues on. Go ahead.
So I was just going to say, can Uncle kind of like point out the iconography, not addressing that it looks defaced, but just saying, well, these are beautiful. How long have these been here?
I love that. You can, and she's going to say, they have been here since the construction of the House of Knowledge, when the lore masters inhabited and kept all the secrets and books and tomes of history safe here, is what she says.
And the books were destroyed with the cataclysm?
No. What was able to be salvaged have been moved to Candle Keep, further down the coast, is what she says.
Oh, well, they're lovely. I can see why you made this your home.
Yes, it is quite beautiful, even in its current state of ruin. Something about this, is what she says, just kind of smiling and admiring. Now, as you continue your tour, you can definitely look above you and see that there are old, kind of large wooden timbers that have been... They're still there. Like, there's kind of showing evidence of a second or possibly a third floor. They look very stable and secure, so you don't freak out of, oh, they could fall at any moment. But you can definitely see that there was additional floors on top of this, but since have been just basically ruined to like a skeleton of what was, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
As we find ourselves here in the grand hall, the main hall, this is where most of the visitors from the previous temple would come and seek out a lore master to help them find or exchange pieces of lore or history or things of that likeness.
Oh, sounds very...
I would say continuing with your 22 perception, we'll just keep that theme. One thing you do notice is there is a back kind of entrance, which is located right about here. There are two guards, heavily armored, heavily weaponized, if you will, standing guard to protect the entrance. There's a pathway that seems to kind of lead out of there. It's a well-traveled pathway, all dirt, and it seems to lead kind of on a winding path down, and it leads down to like a river or riverbed, because traveling from where you are, you know that there's a river, and you put two and two together, that probably would drop you down to the riverbed.
Do they seem...
where the river flows.
Do they seem more heavily armed than the ones that we came in past, or are they about the same?
No, they seem a little more heavily armed.
Okay. That heads down towards the river.
Oh, yeah.
Not going to sing it.
No. Baldur's Gate.
She kind of... Uncle is big on aesthetics. She's not very clever. She's going to look and go, like, through the gap where you can see the path going down, and say, oh, I bet you get a beautiful view down that way.
You do, but we have to protect it from people trying to slip up here via the river, is what you'll say. Bandits and people of thuggish values or roguish skills like to try to come up and bother the people that reside here, is what she says.
Why would anyone want to bother you?
But if you would... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry, why would anyone want to bother you here? This seems so peaceful.
Well, some believe that there are certain secrets or hidden treasures that still reside here, but rest assured, anything that was is no longer here, is what she says.
Do I get the impression she's telling the truth?
You can insight check if you'd like.
I'm rolling really... That's a natural 20 with a +3.
It really is.
Yeah, +3 for
Oh, I
23.
believe you. She is really, really difficult to read on this one, but there's just something about kind of leaning in and pressing in with your kind of like thought process and going over things that kind of picks up that it's about 90% true. Like the physical stuff, the things, the treasures, whatever are not here, but there's something that kind of like is going on in her head. Like there's still something that could be hidden here.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
I think I'm saying, so is it that you guys have cleared this all out, or is there people that have come and cleared it out before you
A
set
little bit of
it?
both. Most of the items were looted after the bulk of the lore and knowledge was transported to Candle Keep. There were some thugs or some thieves that came in and picked through things that may have been left behind, and things that were missed were obviously found with the residents here and have since been either transported either to the lore masters of Candle Keep or have been sold for prosperity and gains for the encampment, is what she says.
Have you
And your
kept...
insight will still that'll be true. Like your insight's still active, it's still true.
I am a wizard. I quite like a knick-knack or two and anything of interest. Have you kept anything of interest that I'd like to see?
Well, there are a few items that I have preserved, small little trinkets, if you will, and once we finish the tour, I would be glad to show them to you back at my tent, is what she says.
Oh, I'd love to see that. It's turned out to be a great day, Uncle.
Uncle's going to just...
So the tour will
she's just going to play with the
continue
drunk
as you guys
aspect.
move in. As you guys continue to kind of the left wing or whatever, what you see there is the same thing. A lot of people going about the routine. It's very peaceful up to this point, which is comforting. This right here is the remnants, this little kind of alcove here on the far left is the remnants of what was a bell tower. It is still functioning, but is not like a beautiful bell tower, if that makes sense. Like you can see the inner workings are still intact, and there still is a bell, and there still is a large kind of heavy hempen rope that is tied to the bell that looks like it will be or could be rung. And you will see like this wing contains mostly like craftsmen or craftspeople that are like leather workers or tool sharpeners or masons or different things like that kind of either work here or travel to basically do the daily grind elsewhere. And this is our this was the main concourse or library where most of the important scripts and tomes and books were kept, as you can see. And she kind of like moves around. There still is kind of like evidence of shelves that were like laid into the stonework that they form a shelf, but they're not really stable enough to like hold much, if that makes sense. But you can definitely see that it coincides with what she's trying to tell you, as this was kind of like the heart or the soul of the main library or repository of knowledge, if you will.
I think Uncle will take the opportunity just to browse a few of the crafts that are going on there. I'm not sure what she'd be looking for particularly. At this point, she's probably just browsing crafts.
I guess, what the refugees there, are they just a mix of humans, sort of just a complete mix of races?
So it's a pretty good mix of ancestry or heritage or races. There's humans, there's a few tieflings, there's a couple of elves. Those are probably the ones that are a little bit more sparse that you would see. There's some halflings, some half orcs, a couple goblins might be sprinkled in there. Like it's a pretty good eclectic kind of collection of people. They all seem very friendly, so they're approachable. So if you approach them, they welcome you. They're nice to see you. Since you're checking like around with the different booths and craftsfolk, they'll try to offer you little bits of wares and things. Just small little trinkets that have like no statistical value. As far as like, unless you want like basic leather armor or a basic dagger or something like that.
I don't think. Yeah. Uncle will return to her after browsing and just kind of acknowledge that it's such a lovely atmosphere that seems to be in a place that she'll kind of allude to the fact that maybe she's picked up on obviously something, like perhaps a cataclysm, that seems that this is also has some sort of dark history to it, and that it's nice to see so much light here, but it seems such an unusual place to have picked as a home.
Give yourself an inspiration point.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
So, do you have any further questions? Shall we return back to the tent for perhaps another glass of that special liquor or some more tea, perhaps?
She shouldn't have much more, but yes, that would be lovely.
Okay.
As
So she is going to start leading you guys back. It'll probably be like a 5 to 6 minute kind of very slow stroll back. You will pick up that a lot of people seem to kind of wave to Beauty. They acknowledge her. She's very cordial and friendly with the people. Relationship seems to be pretty good.
Are we able
on
to,
the way back.
while she kind of walks, are we able to pull back just enough that I can talk quietly to Twilight?
Sure can.
I will tell Twilight about the iconography in the first hall that looks to be some of it defaced, but unfortunately I don't think I'm intelligent enough to know what it means. But more importantly, to say that I don't like deceiving these people. They seem like good people. Maybe we should just be honest with them.
we can do, but they said that they tend to keep guard for rogues and people coming to look for secrets. Maybe we could just say that we're not here to do any harm, are we? Just here to find out some information.
We gather the information we need is here, and I don't feel that these are people that want to pose a threat to us, or even do pose a threat to us at this point, unless we do something to disrupt the natural order of things. We're not here to loot and thieve, we're here to investigate. Would it be safe to be honest?
Well, we could give it a go. My ways of lying and deceit tend not to get me very far, so let's go with Uncle's way for once. Let's be honest.
I'm a much better liar than I am persuader, but I don't feel that that's the right path to take here. This seems like a happy place, and I wouldn't want to bring danger to it in any way.
Well, maybe we can just say that we've also been trying to look something on the path, and now we've started to put 2 and 2 together, and this might be the way forward, if that makes sense.
I got the impression from her that she's telling the truth. Most things have been moved to the Candle Keep, but maybe there's something here that they're not telling us of. It might not be material, it might be something else.
More spiritual. I mean,
something that persists.
I have to say, I'm quite enamoured here. I've had a few drinks, so I feel like I've had a few drinks.
Maybe you should stop.
Maybe you should be quiet, Uncle. But I did see some very, very strange, very strange ghostly kind of holy things floating around, and I'm not quite sure if that was the green liquid or just what I was actually seeing. So maybe there's some sort of spirit here that might be able to help us. It's actually, like you said, it's not an actual thing you can hold. It's not tangible what's left. Maybe we can just say that we've just had this realization that this might be the place that we're looking for, rather than saying that we haven't been honest. Does that make sense? It's like a half-lie.
I get what you're saying, and I'm happy to go with that. This might be exactly where we need it. This is what has brought us here. It's not untrue to say that whatever is here has sparked our interest by coming around it. That's not untrue.
That is true.
That's probably all the time we've got for that.
Yeah, that's been a couple of minutes of us whispering.
So you guys will follow and just get right back into the tent. Once again, the sights, the smells kind of fill, and they're kind of warm and comforting. You're going to notice that Beauty moves over towards the desk. She reaches into her desk, like top desk drawer, probably the one on the left, and she kind of pulls it open, reaches in and pulls out a few items and kind of lays them onto the top of the desk. These are the little trinkets or items that she kind of kept. And she's going to let you guys take a look at them. And they look to be, one of them looks to be like a holy symbol, or not necessarily a holy symbol, but like an amulet. It looks like Agma, and that would be a open book that is blank. And the other one item is going to be a what do we want to make it? We'll just say like it's an old piece of parchment that has some writings. It looks like it may have been torn from a book or a tome or something like that she kept and felt like for some reason there was value to it. The script is written in common. It's kind of randomly talking about holy like angelic beings and things like that, like divas and Solaris and different things like that.
Uncle will ask her, "Are you a magic user? Have you attempted to identify these objects?"
I dabble in magic, but not the type of magic that would be one put forth the identification of these objects. They don't feel as if they would be magical, but if you could do something like that, that would be fantastic, is what she says as she kind of eases into her seat and kind of gets into that posture again as like very eager.
Uncle will sit down opposite and say, "I must be completely honest with you, Beauty. Coming here has maybe interested me more than I thought I would. It seems that there is some greater history here that you seem to be aware of. Maybe these items are connected, and I'm happy to help. I can identify them for you if they're magical."
That would be great, is what she says.
She is quite good at this, I have to say.
Uncle will...
Twilight,
Sorry, go first.
Go on.
while Uncle is doing that, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Let's see if I can roll anything good. Okay. I mean, it's an 11.
That's pretty good. So once this is all taking place, you can see there's great interest in Beauty, and she kind of leans forward and she's kind of leaning in, kind of waiting to see what the results are for what Uncle does. You're going to notice something kind of on her neck. It looks to be a tattoo or a symbol. And if you want to make a history check, you're more than welcome to.
I will indeed. I'm quite historic. Ooh, that is a 20... I've lost my history. 22.
22 is really good. The symbol, what you can catch of it, does appear to be the symbol that would tie or represent Asmodeus.
Do I know that? That's me.
Do you not know who Asmodeus is?
I'm trying to think.
Or do you?
I don't know. No.
I probably should do.
That's what
So
I'm thinking.
Asmodeus would be essentially like the devil,
Ah, yeah.
like essentially.
God, yeah. I knew the name. But I was like,
I've heard of the name. I was thinking, have I heard of the name from this campaign? And I was like, or is this, lore sort of thing. So yeah, sorry about that, but yeah, good little lore.
And
lore
you've
dump
seen
there.
other people with this symbol, and you've seen this other symbol around. Essentially, he's essentially like the head god of devils. Or like the devil, if you will.
So
Typically, the times you would have spotted this symbol would have been with somebody referred to as like a follower, a cultist, something like that.
So it wouldn't be just because she's like a tiefling or anything like that. It's more of a.
It could be. It could be. You don't.
Not
I
sure.
don't know. Do you have? You could make another history check to see if that would tie into her heritage or not.
I'll give it a go. Ooh, history check seem okay. That is an 18.
That's pretty good. there's a strong possibility that it could be because of her tiefling heritage. There could be some backstory there. She doesn't seem to display it proudly. I'll give you that much. Um, you can chew on that. So, Uncle, are you going? What are you going to do with the items?
I have identified as a ritual cast, so if they're magical,
Okay.
after a period of time, I would be able to know what they were.
So it takes you about 10 minutes or so to kind of examine the items, and you feel no magical charge to either of the items. They just are basically like a holy symbol or a symbol that a lore master might wear, or somebody that believed in Agma would wear. And you can see and feel it's well crafted. It looks like it's made of probably like a silver plated, you know, like it was, you know, some sort of silver plated metallic or whatever. Yeah. And then the piece of paper is interesting to kind of read the bits, but it's just a piece of old parchment, very fragile.
Okay. So she'll reply that, I'm sorry I can't be more use to you, but unfortunately these don't appear to be magical in any way. I wish I could have given you more information.
Oh, she kind of like reaches and kind of like gently touches the top of your hand and says, "It's quite all right. Don't feel so bad." And then she kind of regains her posture and kind of sits into her chair. The guard that she had sent away originally is going to come back through the tent's opening, or the entrance of the tent, kind of like says, "It is done." And she's going to say, "Well, it seems as if we've prepared a place for you to rest for the evening. If you'd like to go rest, or if you have more questions, please feel free to ask, or perhaps you're hungry, I can have something prepared and we can have an evening meal together if you'd like. It's been quite a pleasurable day spending with the two of you. You're very interesting." That's what she says.
I think I don't know about you, Uncle, but I'm actually feeling quite tired now. I think I'd quite like to go to bed. I don't know about you. I don't think I need any food tonight. I mean, that absence, I think, sort of that green liquid, sorry, has sorted me out for a fair few days now, it seems.
I'm happy to be led by Twilight, but it has been really lovely to get to know you and those in your camp.
The same is what she says, with a very kind of friendly and warm smile.
Can I just have a quick... So the guard's back in the room, as you said.
He's at the tent entrance. He didn't come all the way in. He just kind of acknowledged that, you know, he's prepared or done what she requested.
Was anyone else in the camp, particularly the guards I'm thinking of, have I noticed anyone with a similar tattoo on their neck or arm or any face anywhere?
Let's do a... Oh, man. Give me a perception check, and it's going to be a pretty high DC.
Okay. Come on, dice. Come on, dice. Ugh, that's not a great one. That is a 10, so...
I mean, you would have seen various symbols, but there's really nothing matching her particular marking, tattoo, or symbol. Some of them may have had just generalized tattoos of, like, I don't know, like a fighter's guild or something, or an old kind of saying or something like that. Nothing that pops off, essentially.
Okay. I think, after sort of seeing the tattoo, Twilight, I know we've just maybe discussed about being honest, but obviously Uncle doesn't know this yet, but Twilight's going to be more like, just, let's go to bed, let's just rest, and try and hopefully it's somewhere quite quiet that we're resting, but that's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see.
Okay. So let me move some things around so you guys would be set up. Put that back. All right, so you will be kind of shown the direction to this purple tent right here.
Ah, lovely.
This guy will no longer be there. He'll be moved to this one. There is a small campfire outside, as probably starting to approach the evening. The sun's beginning to fall. You notice that a lot of the kids are kind of off the streets or the pathways, and it's a little bit of a different atmosphere, as most people are either going in for an evening meal, some people are turning in early. You're going to notice some people coming in from a day's work, some people may be leaving. And the tent itself, when you walk in, there is a good smell of incense that's burning. It smells like cedar. There's some plush beds that have been kind of made for the two of you. Looks like there's a small little tray of refreshments. It looks like there's a equivalent to basically a couple rations there of like snack foods or things like that that would sustain you. And it's just the colors in here. There's some soft lantern light that are providing a good kind of ambience, very warm, comfortable ambience in the tent.
Super. So,
I'm going to be going and shutting up the tent, like, you know,
Okay.
and getting down
Sure.
quiet. Was there a guard put outside our tent or anything like that, or from what we can see that we've been left?
No guards outside your tent. The only thing you will notice is that you're close to that rear entry where the heavily guarded guards are to protect it. You might even, we'll say that you probably would observe at some point there's a guard change, that they would change when it gets a little later, or you might hear it or something like that. So they'll exchange basically, nothing to report and make their change.
I feel like I'd be saying to Uncle, like, "Oh, Uncle, we couldn't tell her. I didn't really want to tell her the truth of what's going on. I've just noticed that on her neck she had a symbol of Asmodeus. Have you heard of that name?"
Uncle's going to be like,
"Who? The devil, Uncle. Oh. Do you not think she... Oh, that is sad. Do you not think she was being honest with us?" "Well, I think she was being fairly honest, but I'm just a bit confused as to what they're really doing here, and to what her true nature is of what really she wants here. And I was worried about telling her, just in case that she might not take to it too favourably, now seeing that tattoo. So maybe we just need to try and work this out for ourselves, or we can maybe speak to her in the morning if we think otherwise."
I can watch her now.
"What do you mean?"
Uncle will remind Twilight that she can cast clairvoyance.
Ah, yes, I should know that.
I could cast into her tent, see if there's anything that she reveals that she's kept from us until now.
Then go for it. What's the worst that could happen? I can always teleport us out of here if we need to. But we know that goes quite badly.
Yeah. So I'm just doing a very quick check. Can Uncle cast clairvoyance into her tent?
Into Beauty's tent?
Yeah, to kind of ascertain if what...
Can you go ahead and read me what the spell does exactly, just so those that are watching and listening can...
Yeah, you create an invisible sensor within range in a location familiar to you. The range is a mile, a place you have visited or seen before, or in an obvious location. The sensor remains in place for the duration, which is 10 minutes, and can't be attacked or otherwise interacted with. When you cast a spell, you choose seeing or hearing. You can choose... you can use the chosen sense through the sensor as if you were in its space. As your action, you can switch between seeing and hearing. A creature that can see the sensor, so anything that has true sight or see invisibility, sees a luminous, intangible orb about the size of your fist.
Okay. You're more than welcome to cast it.
Would you prefer me to see or hear? What do you think would be more useful?
I imagine maybe hear it, because in case you didn't hear anything, it was saying anything.
Agreed. Uncle will cast clairvoyance and will choose hearing over seeing.
Okay. So it takes a moment. You finish kind of casting the spell. Your ears kind of adjust. You kind of close your eyes, maybe to kind of like you would do, like focus and hone in a little bit. And for the first couple minutes, it's very like noises of somebody just kind of like having a drink, maybe eating some food, maybe a little humming, a little light singing. Doesn't appear to be too much. And then you're going to hear kind of a more stern, gruff voice female, but very kind of like a very lower tone female. As she says, "I don't trust them, Beauty." And you will hear the reply say, "Oh, you're so suspicious of everything, my dear. I think they're just passing through. The two of them don't seem to have any reason to want to be here. They're just looking for a place to rest for the evening. That is all." You'll hear that other voice, the other female voice, say, "I believe they're here with ulterior motives. I've studied them quite a few times upon passing, and I just don't want anything to harm us," is what you'll hear. And Beauty replies, "Oh, come now. Come sit down and make yourself comfortable." And then they will transition into basically, there's moments of intimacy or something taking place between the two.
I mean, I can swap between the scene, but I won't. She'll, after like the 10 minutes has passed, she'll kind of open her eyes to you, Twilight, back. Okay. I had some things I didn't really want to hear from this with you, Twilight.
Well, maybe go get you one of those drinks in a sec.
I believe that Beauty is as she said to us. She doesn't want us. She believes we are here just to pass through. I heard another voice, a female voice, I would imagine the half-orc.
The one with a little tattoos. It sounded like
A gruff female voice.
it must be.
I would assume. She seems less trusting of us. Thinks that we may bring harm. Beauty doesn't want any harm to come to anyone, which of course we'll guarantee. But if they're mistrusting us, then maybe we will.
So what do you suggest? Should we go back into the tent and have a conversation? I just
Want to reveal we spied on them?
well, no, we don't say that we spied on them. We just say that I don't know, we wanted to have another look around the castle, or
Something tells me that was suspicions, but they seem heavily guarded. At the back, is it possible that maybe the direction to take?
well, I can. There's a couple of things if we wanted to go out round the back and look down the river, but I think it's just for people coming in. But I could make one of us invisible, and we could have a look.
I can charm someone to take us.
One of the guards.
I can try. I can charm 5 people. I can charm 5 guards if they metagaming fail their wisdom saving throws.
I've heard of that. That's one that happens.
They'd be charmed for an hour.
Oh, the guards are changed ever so often. If we could just charm the guards which are nearby us, we could go and have a look down by the river and see if there's anything en route.
We could certainly try.
Maybe we start with that.
We can start there.
Do they know that they've been charmed after the spell has happened?
It doesn't say.
Well,
doesn't say.
I might be thinking of Friends, the other spell that I've heard of in my wizarding years.
That other one that I have, yes.
Oh,
It doesn't say. It just says you can see or hear. So I have to play to them. I have to play music, but we could always go out and socialise with anyone that wants to, and I can choose up to 5 creatures, and they will be charmed for an hour. It doesn't say that they know they've been charmed after. I don't know.
Let's give it a go then. Let's do that. And then if not, maybe we can speak to Beauty, but I am worried. I don't like the look of that tattoo.
Now at this point, if there's anything you guys could take a short rest. If there's, I know you're not like hit point damage, but if there's anything you can gain back on a short rest, you're more than welcome to take a short rest and gain anything or benefits back.
I think I'd only
for a
get
short
bardic
rest.
inspiration back, which I haven't spent, so I think
I haven't used anything, so I am all good at the moment. Although I think what I'll do is,
I like to hear that.
before we get going, I'm going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
Hey, that's a good idea.
You know, as I am a.
That's one of those spells. There's one of those spells that you always think to do after the fact.
Yeah. Can you tell what that might have happened before? So one little level 1 spell slot, and I think Twilight kind of engulfs herself in. I imagine it's like kind of black smoke, and then just
Nice.
appears like to slightly gleam a bit more strongly now, with her mage armor.
Awesome.
Yes, I think we'll possibly wait for. Well, no, actually, we'll go out, won't we? Because if I need to play, then I need to perform, but maybe around timing it around the time where the guards will change. Therefore, we know we're targeting the new guards.
That's a good idea. Fresh guards, my favourite.
Okay. So all that'll transpire. You'll kind of make your way outside the tent. They'll kind of take your opening. This is your opportunity. You can pull out your instrument and roll a performance. What instrument will you be using?
If she plays the violin.
Oh, nice.
Very, well, considering we're recording this on St. Patrick's Day, very like Irish kind of jig, fiddle kind of thing.
Sure. Sure.
Performance. Oh gosh, we're going to have to do some maths here because it's +13 and I'm not very good at maths.
13, wow.
19, I think.
That is 19.
Okay. So you kind of describe your performance. I mean, I know, is there anything with the instrument? Is there a little, go ahead and give us a little description the best you can.
Uncle likes anything performance related, so dance, music, singing, but as she performs, she also likes to kind of move around the audience a little bit, when you bring the violin close to people. It's very joyful and like I say, kind of like an Irish bar kind of atmosphere that she kind of tries to encourage.
Got it.
And when the time is right, she'll use her feat, which is enthralling performance. Once per short rest, you can choose 5 creatures that watch and listen to you perform for 1 minute. Each target makes a whiz saving throw and is charmed if it fails for 1 hour.
Okay. Well, I've rolled for both of them, and they have definitely failed with 1s. So
Oh, excellent.
both of them.
I just like the idea.
So you will definitely... Go ahead.
I just like the idea that while this is going on, Twilight for once actually tries and helps you and just casts dancing lights in the background. So there's just like little balls of light going off to sort of distract everyone a little bit more. Yeah,
it was a beautiful performance, and you definitely can see that they are charmed.
So did it work?
I think so. This is our opportunity if we want to see what's down that way.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah. So we'll head towards the guards. I think Uncle will probably take the lead on it and say, "It's a beautiful evening. Would you care to take?
Oh, yes, it is.
Would you care to take a walk with us?"
Well, certainly, is what one guard will say. The other will say, I better stay back, just in case. We don't want to both get in trouble. One guard says, I'd be glad to. And he'll extend his arm to kind of hook into yours to take a saunter.
Yeah, she's a shameless flirt. She'll accept and she'll say to the other guard, I think it's very good that you stay here and keep an eye and make sure that we make it back safely.
Yes. So follow me, and he's going to begin leading down this pathway, and it does kind of curve and wind a little bit. It does kind of go down into maybe a 15 or 20% grade, so there's a little steep at points, and it does lead down by the river, and it's at this point the moon is going to be full and the moonlight is bright. What you will see is, let me get to my proper note page.
I love how well that worked.
The pathway leads to the river, and then you kind of see that it narrowly goes by a cliffside, and the pathway actually looks like it dies into the river, as if the river has kind of swelled onto the pathway and has blocked it at this point. I will attempt to show you kind of what I'm talking about, I hope. And I think we would do... show you that, you'll be like, oh no.
What have we got ourselves into?
This one. All right, hopefully you guys see that map. I can shift it around for
Yeah,
you.
just loading.
All right, let me put our guard on there.
Since we dragged NPCs for this. Don't you love it?
Yes, every player is a Pokemon master. They like to collect the NPCs.
Yeah, massively so. Kind of my little Pikachu.
Let's turn on the night. So the screen should get nighttime, I hope.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool.
And then let me try to show our viewers kind of what we got going on, I hope. Okay. So, it is night. Dark vision for anybody? Does anybody want a torch? Because it's very dark. I mean, there's moonlight giving you ambience, but...
I do not have dark vision, but I have dancing lights as a cantrip, so I suppose I can kind of use those to light enough. Or a torch might be more effective.
Okay.
But
I have to.
What kind of light does the dancing lights give you?
they're rose tinted.
Okay.
Rose tinted.
Is there a distance on them?
120. Oh, that's a casting 120 feet.
Let's say...
range 120 feet. I don't think that's going to light that much. That'd be like daylight, wouldn't it?
Let's just do like 20 feet of dim light, just enough to you kind of keep it within a proximity. You said it's like a rose color?
Yeah.
I feel like, because I also do not have dark vision, so I could...
How about that?
Yeah, that looks brilliant.
There you go.
So as we head down, Uncle will be shamelessly flirting with this guard, saying, "Why do they put you on watch on this entrance? Beauty said something about rogues. Are we in danger down here?"
Well, we haven't had much activity in quite some time, is what we'll say.
You must be one of her best fighters to be so heavily armed.
I like to think so. He kind of like smiles.
Oh, it's very impressive.
Bolsters his chest a little bit.
I'm not much of a fighter, you see, so anyone that can fight, I find very impressive.
I'm going to whisper.
Well, perhaps I shall show you how to fight or something at some time, is what he says.
That would be wonderful.
Oh, he kind of blushes and smiles a little bit.
I'm keeping him distracted.
I know. I know. Uncle, I don't want to watch this show. Can I go back? No, I'm joking. I think I'll be whispering to Uncle, like, ask him, does he know much about the area? Or just ask him straight about the temple, the ruins.
You can ask him yourself during it. Do you know much about the ruins? Are they down here? Is there a way in down here?
Well, there's been many searches for something referred to as the Lost Vault down here, as well as the ruins, but we feel as if that it was more of a story and less factual, is what you'll say.
Have you searched for the Lost Vault?
I personally have not, but some of the other associates of mine have, and they believe that it's just how would you say it, a wild boar chase, is what he'll say.
Well, it would be exciting if we were the ones to find it, wouldn't it? Do you think Beauty would be pleased if we were the ones that found it for her? Namely you. You can take the authority on that.
He kind of smiles and blushes as if he's definitely charmed.
In which case then, I guess as a party out, obviously you've heard all this.
Yeah.
To investigate our surroundings.
Yeah, I think that's while this conversation's going on. I wasn't too sure who he was charmed by, probably more Uncle than Twilight. But I guess both of us really. I'll be looking around. Just want to look around, kind of what's the landscape. Obviously, there's the river. I know you explained, but
Mhm.
can I see anything that looks sort of connected to the car, like to the building, if that makes sense?
You can do an investigation.
Let's go for it. Investigation. Yeah. That is 21. That's 21.
So you're looking around, and you spend several minutes doing so, and you really don't see anything until you're about ready to give up, because that's how it always works. You're going to see a tiny kind of pulsing kind of mote of light, roughly about here. I don't know if you can see that ping.
Would you mind just doing that again, please?
Yep. It is like, I don't know, 65 feet down.
Yeah.
It looks like it's below water. And it's very, very faint, as if the moonlight hit it in just a certain way that it glinted at the right time of you looking, kind of scenario. When you like try to look for it, you may not be able to find it again. Like you saw something, and now it seems like, did I see what I saw?
I feel like this is something to go with at the moment, so I'd be going around to Uncle, be like, I think maybe we should go and explore down there, but sort of kind of in the water a little bit, it seems, but I saw something just glint off of the moonlight. Maybe we can get your new friend to maybe get himself wet.
Uncle will listen and then point towards the moon and go, oh, well, it is beautiful. I imagine that many people, you can understand why people fall in love with the moon, can't you? Shall we walk a little further down and see if we can see her a bit better?
Yes, please, is what you'll say.
She'll continue to kind of be led by him enough that, I mean, roughly to you know where you were pointing, but to a point where we would be looking out at the moon, corresponding to where
that spot.
Yeah, you could stop where you thought.
Yeah, that would make sense. I'd be like kind of like pulling us back a bit.
Okay, go ahead and move your token where you're going to position yourself.
I think. Oh, probably a little bit further along than that. It was about. I saw my ping. It was about. Oh, sorry. About there.
So you're staying topside. You're not following the pathway in, just to clarify, right?
At the moment, yeah. I imagine we're just sort of trying to look down from the bank. Is it kind of like a bank or the path?
Yep.
Yeah, in and see what we can see a bit closer.
Perfect. So go ahead and give me a perception check.
That's cocked. That is cocked. Oh, wow, I'm glad that was cocked, because that was a natural 20.
You definitely are going to kind of get a better look from the top side, and you definitely will see it looks like it's about 3 inches like in diameter. It's very tiny, and it seems as if it's resting in the surface of, or like in the mud or the silt, and you can definitely catch it like when the moonlight hits it. It's tricky to see, but you definitely pick up on what you saw before. There is something tangible down there.
I guess I'll probably explain this to Uncle. There's something quite clearly visible down there. It's about 3 inches long, and do you think we should ask our friend to go and get it, or if it takes any damage, we can be a friend much longer? Okay, well, maybe I can go in. You know, I've not really swum much in my life, but here's the way to learn, isn't it?
Before you dive into the water, she'll turn to her friend and say, have you ever looked underneath the surface of the water for your vault?
No, we have not, is what he says. Why?
Because if it's a secret vault, surely they wouldn't have made it somewhere as visible as above land, no?
You are smart, is what he says.
Twilight will be like,
I literally am like, I'm with a +5 to my intelligence.
and a -1 to mine.
I'm deeply offended right now.
Uncle will beam because no one's ever called her clever before.
Right there, Uncle. If your head gets any bigger, you won't be able to fit in the hole, will you?
Well, it would seem that there's a possibility of an entrance here. Do we want our friend to... How are we going to breathe? If it's down there...
Might not be too far down.
You could probably, with your natural 20, like, taking a look, you probably can determine it's probably, like, 15 feet or so underwater.
Okay.
Is that I'm terrible. That's not too far, really.
No, that's
you probably
doable.
swim down. Maybe we can get our friend to go and swim down. Can we ask his... Maybe we should ask his name.
Oh, what is your name? I didn't catch it before.
My name is Daryl, is what he'll say.
Daryl. Oh, that has some poetry to it.
Daryl... He says, Daryl of... Waterdeep is what he'll say.
Daryl of Waterdeep. Oh, you know, as a bard, I would be thrilled to write poetry with a name like that.
It rhymes with Daryl.
Daryl.
Daryl rhymes with Daryl.
She's like, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
Such a wonderful name is Daryl. Do you want to try and swim down the sea, or do you want?
Well, maybe Daryl. I mean, and I'm going to try and do what Uncle's been doing and be like, I see he has a very thick physique, and you know, it seems like he could push back some water with his large hands. So that's, I don't really know how to.
Yes, I would totally do that. He starts doffing his armor as quickly as he can. He takes off the heavy studded leathers and takes the long sword and kind of drops it to the side, grabs his leather boots and kind of hops around as he pulls them off, basically kind of getting down into kind of the skivvies, if you will, and without hesitation, he looks directly at Uncle, flashes a smile, and dives right off the cliff, just without hesitation.
It's going to flash them.
He hits the water, goes underneath the water. The ground begins to shake, like vibrate, as you guys quickly look to see he's swimming, and then the entire riverbank kind of pulls back, and as it does, all the water recedes, but then it all convalesces into a gigantic or gargantuan water elemental that is like right eye level with you, leaving Daryl kind of like resting in the mud. And it should be on the map. You should be able to see this large gargantuan water elemental.
Oh yeah, that's big. Oh no, Daryl!
Might not need much to rhyme with Daryl anymore.
As this elemental kind of takes its shape and reveals the entire pathway below, it is going to speak in this kind of like deep burbling voice, and it looks as if it's talking directly to you and waits on a reply.
I mean, I don't have anything that...
I have no understanding of language.
Comprehend language, anyone? No?
Nope.
Nope, good time for that. Did we... Can we just decipher anything they're trying to say? Probably not.
What languages do you speak?
Sylvan and Common, that's all I've got.
Common, Elvish, and Halfling.
This language is completely foreign to you. One thing you will notice, though, as you're trying to scramble to figure out, that glowing mote of light is now in the center of this elemental's chest, kind of pulsing. As Daryl's like, I don't see it down here.
You keep looking, Daryl. Hold on.
If you got
At the moment, the best I can...
nothing to. I mean, I can try and cast friends with it, but something tells me that's probably not going to go down as well.
Can I ask, do you understand us? Can it nod? I don't know if
It does nod, and then you will hear this kind of, yes, I can hear and understand you.
it speaks common.
Hello, friend.
Not everyone's a friend, Uncle, but hello, friend, because it's bigger than us.
Who treads the path of enlightenment, is what he says.
I
in
mean,
common.
technically, Daryl.
that down there, that's Daryl. We've just met him.
I'm gonna allow you both to give me history checks because you've been doing a whole lot of research and stuff before you got to this point.
Okay. Ooh, good history. 19.
11.
This is a phrase that you remember reading several times while doing research that was used by former lore masters of the House of Knowledge. And you recall that the answer potentially, or the phrase that was in return, was protectors, keepers of knowledge.
I think it just is
Go on.
I was going to say, I imagine you're going to have to stop Uncle from just being like, Uncle! And just be like,
No, it's literally, I've just like covered up Uncle's mouth, but not now, not friend.
You will hear from below as stands up and begins to clear his throat.
Daryl, no.
He looks up. Okay, anything.
I think I'll probably say back what I've read, thinking that's the right thing to say.
Okay. Are you committed? Are you sure?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So what do you say back?
Protectors, keepers of knowledge.
The elemental is going to reach into its chest, grabbing, and it all sounds like crashing waves, the sound it's making. And you can feel like spray from the water, and he kind of pulls forth and kind of presents directly towards where the two of you are standing, that 3-inch diameter kind of glowing, pulsing orb or ball. Or
Is that passing out to us?
yeah, it's like right in front of you within grasp.
I'm going to reach in and take it.
The water is cold, like you actually go through his hand a bit, you grab it, it's physically a tangible object, and it's stone. And you pull it forth. Go ahead and give me an Arcana check.
That's good for me. Okay, 14 plus 9. What's that? 22. Thank God I'm a wizard.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know this to be an Ioun stone.
Ooh.
And particularly the Ioun stone of knowledge.
Ioun stone. So I know.
Ioun stone of knowledge.
Do I? Okay, I think I'm going to be. Oh, this is a very lovely gift, Mr. Water or Mrs. Water Elemental.
The elemental will begin to pull back towards the center of the river. Carry on.
Thank you. How long have you been here for?
It just is going to look at you, it nods, and then just as just a waterfall just collapses into the river.
Can Uncle, while you're doing that funny thing, just grab a hand down to Daryl to try and pull him back up before the water comes in?
You can, but the distance between where you and Daryl are is too great. But he's trying to jump and grab your hand.
Do I have rope?
We must both have rope.
I can't see my inventory.
Surely all travellers have 30 feet of hempen rope.
All travellers have rope, right? I don't know.
Sure.
That's always our joke. That's our
It's our
Grin.
joke that everyone carries 50-foot pentagon rope.
That's it. I could throw a sandbag at him. That's probably the best.
That's can. Can I chuck rope to him?
Sure, yeah. You throw some rope down to him, and he's going to grab a hold of the rope. What you will notice is as the creature collapses into the river, the water level does not increase on the pathway. So basically what you were kind of gaining from this is that the creature was covering the pathway to intentionally like protect and block it.
Oh, yeah.
So Daryl grabs the rope and he's like, I'm coming.
Oh.
And he attempts to climb it, but he's not very successful as he looks like a uncoordinated person trying to climb the pole in gym class.
That's definitely.
This guy. I was that guy.
Oh, don't.
We've all been that person. We were that guy.
Yeah, that was us.
This seems unnecessary. Daryl seems fine. And is this what we were after?
I think so. I mean, what do I know of this stone?
Well, Ioun stones, there's various versions of them. They provide different forms of boons or benefits. Some of them are knowledge, some of them are protection, etc. They are a magical item. You have seen them before. You've never held one or owned one. They're typically pretty expensive. But it's not like unique or one of a kind.
Okay.
So there are others, and this could be based off kind of what your research and stuff. This could have been something that the lore masters would have used because it deals with knowledge as some form of like key or a source of like helping gain knowledge on something. Daryl's gonna say, there is something interesting down here. You should come take a look. It looks like a door, is what he'll say, and he kind of moves and migrates a little bit further down.
I think we should head down, Uncle.
I agree.
If maybe this just opens up this. God knows.
I agree. We can head towards the door.
Let me see if I can reveal the non-water. Did that take the water away? On your map? I hope. Ish.
There's no water elemental. I think we've just got the glowing round us. Maybe we need to move forward a little bit.
Okay. So you guys will take the pathway. You'll go back around. You take the pathway down. It is muddy because it has been submerged underwater. And you will see at this point, Daryl has made his way down to here.
Okay. We'll follow Daryl. I'm wondering what point Daryl's going to become a hindrance to us.
Yeah, how long have we been doing this for?
You're getting close on the hour. You still got maybe 10 minutes left.
So, I'm going to relay this to Twilight, saying, I don't think we have much longer with Daryl.
Is Daryl still in his pants?
He's
Okay,
yeah.
So he's not
All
a
of his-
threat.
He's not
I would assume you probably would have picked his gear and his armor, maybe brought it to him. We can say that comfortably.
Yeah, we'll throw it in the river.
Unless you want to leave it up there and have him go.
No. We can allow him to get dressed. So I think what Uncle will do is cast modify memory.
Okay, I like it.
So she will, because it's only a 10-minute section she can modify. So she'll allow him to remember like the date and the flirting, coming down here for an evening walk. But when they get close to the water elemental, that's where she's going to wipe his memory and have him remember some intimate moments with Uncle. And that's why he needs to put his clothes back on and head back up to his watch post.
Okay. Now he has to make a save.
Save.
Yep. And what's the DC for
17.
that? Okay. So you kind of, as he's starting to like put his armor back on, you just kind of gently lay your hand on his forehead, kind of like, I don't know, thematically, maybe you kind of put your head to his head or something like that to manipulate the memories and kind of give him the instructions, and it goes perfectly well. As he will get dressed, he will take his way right back up to the top.
Well done. That's nice spell.
So as he's finally taken his leave, the two of you will see this little, there's like a tiny little alcove that was hidden and submerged underwater. You can see the evidence of the door is still pristine and clean, which lets you to believe that there's something protecting it from water, but there is evidence of growths and different things around it, so it hasn't been disturbed in quite some time. The door is a large iron door. Emblazoned on the door is the symbol of a blank kind of scroll, which you would tie together as the symbol of Agma, the god of knowledge. Worshipped and followed by former lore masters of the House of Knowledge. And in the center of that door is a depression shaped like a hand.
Human-sized?
It is. And I would say that Twilight, you can definitely tell that there's magic kind of imbued into this door, for sure.
So, can I... Is there anything I could do, like with speaking to the stone or anything like that, or kind of... I don't know, I'm trying to see if there's any knowledge I can get from it to... I'm wondering if it is like a key to open the door, sorry.
The stone itself can be used, you would know, as like you would take the time to kind of learn how it works, or metagaming attuned to it, and then basically it would orbit around your head, providing beneficial attributes to your character. But you're kind of leaning on that this could be the key used to open the door. So you have to make a tough decision: ignore the door and keep the stone, or use the stone and see what happens.
Twilight, we're on a bigger mission here than just yours. But look, it's loot. I looted this. Oh, okay. I guess I can. Could I? The only thing I was thinking about was maybe like just putting my hand. Obviously, I'll have smaller hands being a halfling, but seeing what happened if I put it to the door. But then obviously could also get eaten by the door. Stone. Okay, I'll put the stone on the door. I say that quite loudly.
No.
Oh.
Okay. So your first instinct is you take the stone to touch it to the door, just to test that theory. Nothing happens, and then you're going to place it in the palm of this hand. As you do, the hand will animate and clutches the stone, locking it in. There is a kind of a flash of blue light that kind of dissipates around the hand and the door, and as it does, you're going to hear a series of complex mechanical sounds that are emanating from this large iron door that's in front of you. It is going to hiss, and it kind of cracks open, revealing what you think is a narrow hallway that fades into darkness. There's a cool breeze that kind of brushes past each of you, kind of sending chills down your bodies. There is a flash and a flicker of light deeper down this hallway. And I ask you guys what you want to do.
Send the dancing light. Yeah, I'd say send your light down.
Yeah, send the dancing lights further down the passage.
Okay. So as you press the dancing lights down there, you're going to see there's some, and maybe even feel like there's a little something resisting it as it breaks through kind of these cobwebs or spider webs. You can't really tell. But the light travels down, and it illuminates like about a 5-foot hallway, travels down about 40-50 feet. And if you push the door open completely, you'll be able to see that there is actually like torch light, or more like a brazier or a couple braziers that are flickering light. And there's some stone iconography or statues or something at the very end of the hallway, which looks like it turns a bend to the right. Let me try to change our map and see if I can do this right.
Uncle's just going to walk down, like skipping and like la 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 la. This is a nice place. I think it.
All right, so let me reveal the hallway. I gotta do a thing here. Okay, should be able to see the hallway now.
Yeah.
Would I know it's a distance, but you said there's iconography. Is there any chance that Uncle recognises it from the iconography in the ruins?
Give me a perception check to see if you can get a good look at it.
17.
It looks as if it is iconography matching from the House of Knowledge up there, undisturbed, other than just like heavy dust and cobwebs. A lot of cobwebs.
Nice.
Well, I would imagine this is where we're after, and it looks like the first people here, everything seems to match what's above.
Well, I guess we just start walking down then.
Should we just, you know... It's covered in cobwebs and dust. There's no sign of, like, other footprints that have gone through here?
No. There's a heavy layer of dust on the floor. It hasn't been disturbed in quite some time.
Seems like we're the first.
And based off, like, the hissing of the door, it was definitely sealed very well, too. So it's very dry in there.
Do you think they'd trap it?
Possibly. I mean, I could send a firebolt down there and see if anything happens.
You could try. It doesn't hurt to check it's not trapped. I would, if this is something to be protected, I would have trapped it.
Yes, you would have done. I just want to send a firebolt down it, and also kind of getting rid of some of the cobwebs. You know, just sort of singeing them and seeing if it trips anything.
Yep. When you send it down, it will singe and burn a clear pathway. The first 10 feet are definitely cobwebs. Beyond that are thicker silken webbing for sure. But it burns up. Kind of cleans the hallway all the way down as it splashes kind of on the wall at the very end.
That seemed to work a treat. I didn't trigger anything, but it definitely I did a bit of dusting.
I think we should move carefully, quietly. We should.
Okay, with stealth.
Okay. Go ahead and make your stealth checks, and then you can move your tokens after you.
That's stealthing up. Ooh, rolling nicely now.
16.
22. That's a 19 plus 3.
Yep. So quietly, you guys take your movement.
Oh yeah, or in front of you, I think. Oh yeah, no, don't worry, we're good.
No worries, I think we're attached, so I'll just wander down. Ah, thank you.
Yep.
We're going to follow the dancing lights down to the corner.
Yep.
And then send them.
So you get there, and the fire kind of went around the corner just a little bit, but there's now a really hefty or dense kind of collection of woven webbing that you can see is definitely a spider from potentially a large spider. Beyond that point, let me put your dancing lights back on.
You know, fairly stealthy, but good rolls.
Beyond that point, you see kind of in the shadow of the darkness, essentially it is an archway leading into another chamber. It's kind of hard to make out some of the details, but you know that there is another chamber beyond this. There is no door, but another chamber. The iconography you see as you're kind of at the braziers, you'll take a look at that, and let me find... It appears to be an altar to Agma. There's an offering platform that lies on this altar that is empty, and there appears to be kind of the silhouette in the shape of a key that's resting on the platform.
So it's a bit further down,
like in
down
the
the
dust.
path, is that? So if we just move down a little. Well, I was wondering if you might want to clear some of the webs again and see if we're triggering any. I might just do the same again if that's all right with Firebolt and just clear this pathway.
Sure, if you'd like to.
Yeah, let's give it a go. It seemed to work before. Why wouldn't it work now?
So you launch another fireball. It goes down and it splashes into this chamber. And it's going to hit a door, and it stops at the door. The door itself is another kind of emblazoned door with symbols and things. It looks very similar or as important as the one that was sealed. It does ignite. There is a longer burn inside that chamber, and you will hear kind of a squelching sound, and there's a sound.
What have we just destroyed?
What have we just destroyed? Could we take a look at the altar? Is there anything on it? Anything to look at?
On these two particular altars, there is nothing on it.
Okay.
Is there any signs of anything that maybe popped or exploded?
You will see signs kind of in the corners of the ceiling, or that there was evidence of like large silken sacks that are now kind of burning into embers. And what's everybody's passive perception?
13.
I am 11.
Okay. The 13 is going to reveal behind you in that left corner, there is a large arachnid that comes into view, almost as if it came from the ether. And it does not look happy. So we're going to roll some.
Yay! Okay, let's get going. Not a strong start.
13.
Oh, 12. Not too bad. I thought my initiative was 3.
Okay, let me update that. Uncle was 13. And 12 for 12.
This is the time to ask how tall's the ceiling. Get those fireballs going.
So, get back to the combat. The creature is going to go first, as it is going to. It's gonna basically kind of work its way or contort its body to go upside down in the ceiling, and then it kind of like releases its front half, and it's going to attempt to bite the closest person, which will be Uncle, who seems to be kind of closer. Oh my goodness. As it attempts to bite, you can make an opportunity attack because it rolled a 1. Opportunity attack.
She will use her rapier as an opportunity attack.
Okay.
That's not. It's not much better. That's an 11.
11 misses.
Yeah.
That causes it to recoil back up and kind of reattaching itself to the ceiling. And that'll be the end of its turn. That'll bring it to you, Uncle.
Uncle is going to. She can cast one of her feats that she got allows her to Mantle of Majesty cast command as a bonus action once per day without expending spell slots, and try and get it to surrender.
Oh.
Nice.
So how does it have to make a check or anything for that?
It will do. It is a wisdom save. 17 is the DC.
Okay, so when you perform that action, it is going to recoil back, and then it is going to basically disappear as it phases retreat, as that was successful because it failed. Okay.
Oh, we've got...
Combat over.
Speedy
initiative. She's going to be like, we've got a minute.
Well done.
Okay, go. So, yeah, we're going to speed through. You said there's a door in front of us.
There is. Let me give you a description of said door.
This fight is a bit postponed.
Before you, is this is considered an antechamber. It is a double door that is emblazoned with the symbol of the blank scroll that is the symbol of Agma. The door has a keyhole as a strange sound emanates, which we already dealt with that. So it's missing a key.
Is it going to be as simple as being in this room? Surely not. Do we see any sign of a key in the room?
There is no sign of the key in the room. The only sign you would have seen is back on that altar around the corner.
Oh, the one back down the hall.
Oh.
That had like an imprint, like a dust outline of a key.
Oh, it had an outline, did it? So it wasn't there.
As if it was once there, but no longer is.
The spider's got it.
Inspiration.
You can have an inspiration for that.
Okay.
We might need to find. Is the spider still here? Can we just like go?
Is the spider still there, or can we not see it?
He's gone for a minute, right?
Yeah.
I just wondered if
he ran away.
I wondered if it was still in sight that I could like cast blight and then kind of get a really good old hit on it.
The spider seemed to kind of like phase from this realm for at least.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
We have postponed this fight. We might need to wait a minute until the spider comes back.
You know, like elevator music. Where it's like doo, doo, doo. It's just us waiting there for the spider.
Just preparing actions.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, can I prepare when it comes back into sight to cast blight on the thing?
You can.
I will. She'll quickly say, "We're going for a kill on this spider."
I don't see why not. If anything in death seems good to me.
Right,
I am a necromancer wizard. Of course, I want to kill the spider.
Okay, she will prepare. Shatter.
Yeah, how tall's the ceiling?
Oh yeah, that might not be a good idea.
Probably about 15 feet.
Yeah, not great for fireball either.
No, in which case I won't do. I won't do. Is Shatter a radius spell, or is it a target? I never remember.
Shatter is, isn't it a zone?
I think it's a
radius.
I think it's a range or a
Yeah,
radius.
I won't do that because we'll be 100% inside that. In which case she will just prepare her rapier ready to attack with that.
Okay. Are you guys happy with your positioning?
I might come back a little bit. Oh, I think we're attacked. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
What you can do is like take your mouse, kind of move off the square, drag like a little box around one of the tokens, and it should separate you.
Ooh.
If I've got my rapier prepared, I'll have to be fairly close.
Do you want to be there or a bit closer?
On one forward.
There, perfect. I'm going to step back because light has a 30-foot range.
Yeah. Yep, and then I think we're ready for its return.
Okay, so as the elevator music concludes playing, you are going to hear that same kind of sound that you heard before, as it is going to appear right there in the darkness, if you will. It is your turn. Let me pull that back up. It is actually Twilight's turn because Uncle was the one who said go away for a minute, so we'll go right to Twilight. What you
Okay. I think probably blight will trigger now. So.
Oh yeah, we'll have opportunity attacks trigger as it comes back, or will they trigger on our turn?
It doesn't appear in the room.
Oh.
It appears over here.
Ah.
It phases in. So you don't see it in the room, you hear it in the hallway or hear something takes place in the hallway.
Cool. I'm not in range.
Kind of in that...
Yeah, I'm going to then maybe just pull forwards and just kind of poke my head maybe out around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. Just come forwards one more. I'm trying to see if I can see it. It's probably in this black bit here, is it? Just in front of us.
It is... Let me see if I can give it some illumination so you guys can see it.
Ah, thank you. I was like, I can't see him or her or them. Ah!
Well, I need to add some color to it. Do you see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to cast Blight with which is a Constitution save on the spider's part.
What's the DC on
19.
that? No, it fails.
Yeah, so it's going to take...
My dice.
I've also got Arcane Grimoire, so I get a nice little bonus. So it's 8d8 necrotic. I've only got one dice on me today. Actually, I'm going to borrow some of your uncle's. Let's do some maths.
There's 1d8.
Thank you. Okay, so these we've got a 6, an 8, and a 4, so that'd be 10, 18, and another 3, an 8, a 1, and a 4, 18, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 18 plus 13 is... let's get the calculator out. 18 plus 13 is 21 plus 2 more. Plus 2 more.
30, yeah.
And then plus another 5.
26.
26 points of necrotic damage, please.
Okay. It feels the effects of it. You can see it start to shrivel up in certain spots, and it recoils back a little bit to show that it has been hurt and damaged, but it's still a viable attacker.
Okay. I'm just going to take a step back for a sec. I think that probably all my movement. Oh no, I'm half of That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's probably all my movement actually. So yeah, I'll stay there.
Okay, it is going to bring us to the top of the round as the spider is now a little more angry. And it is going to charge down this hallway right towards Twilight. As it fills like the entire kind of, you can see like some of its limbs are up on the wall, some of them are on the ground, and it's kind of contorting itself, but it is like filling the entire the hall, kind of charging directly at you, and it's got its little pincers kind of like snapping and screeching, and is going to attempt to bite. I like that die better. It is going to be an 18 to
That
hit.
hits.
It is going to deal... Let me find the right die for that. 6 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Yeah, 6 damage. And this one. Thank you. That's a 14.
Okay. You will take a total of... what was that? 9 points of poison damage, being able to kind of shake off the full effect of what was injected into you when it bit you.
Okay. That's good.
That will bring us to Uncle.
Uncle will, knowing that it's important to keep Twilight up as their fighter, will use as a bonus action her feet telekinetic shove, which means I can either move something 5 feet away or 5 feet towards me. And I'm going to push the creature 5 feet back with the telekinetic shove. Oh no, actually I'm going to pull Twilight towards me 5 feet. Because otherwise it's a save and you're more likely to know what it's me.
That makes sense, yeah.
So she's going to pull Twilight back 5 feet.
Okay.
I mean, it's a straight saving throw if you want to resist it.
Yep.
No, I won't resist it. I'll let you do it.
Yeah, to pull her back, and then as her action, will, for fun, use her rare magic item that she got between games. She has a wand of lightning bolt that has 7 charges in it. So, can she use that? I don't know what the save is on, if that's a save or an attack or... I'm having a little look. I'm doing a very quick check.
Let me look it up.
Lightning bolt. Stroke of lightning. Actually, maybe I won't do that because you're right. Oh, she can take a step up, can't she?
Yeah. Next to me.
Oof, 100 feet long. This might be a bit much. This might destroy the tunnel. Change of plan. That's what I might look
Okay.
at. I'll tell you what she'll do. She will cast reduce in size on the creature.
Ooh,
Oh,
good
okay.
idea.
Okay.
It is
So
a
it has to make
Constitution saving throw, DC 17.
It will fail that.
Nice.
Super. So it shrinks down. Size.
One size or how small?
Let me do a quick check. Large reduce. The target size is halved in all dimensions, and its weight is reduced to 1/8 of normal. If it goes from like medium to small, etc. So if it's large, it would go to medium.
Gotcha.
Until the spell ends, the target also has disadvantage on strength checks and strength saving throws.
Okay.
While these, it's not using. It says the target's weapons also shrink. Obviously, it's not carrying weapons as such, but it's saying the target's weapons also shrink to match its new size. While these weapons are reduced, the target's attacks deal 1d4 less damage.
Awesome. So as it shrinks in size to a medium-sized creature, you're going to hear ding, 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 as it was attached onto the under kind of thorax or appendage of the creature, kind of bounces to the floor, as it is now kind of a medium-sized creature.
Super. That's my turn.
Okay, then it brings to Twilight.
I'm gonna hit it with some fire. Not a fireball though, just a fire
Mhm.
fire bolt. It's a little cantrip
Bolt with
with
the
a
T.
T.
Mhm.
Getting. That's not very. Although I get plus 11, so that's 2, but plus 11, so 13.
13 is going to hit it.
It's 3d10. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, oh yeah, firebolt's quite strong now. So 7 plus 1, 8 plus 2. Well, could be better. 10 points of fire damage.
Okay, it's going to splash. It kind of burns into it and damages it, and it kind of squelches and squeals. Still a viable target, but it is looking less effective.
Okie dokie. Let's I'm gonna leave it as that for now. I am gonna just
Okay.
move over to the side slightly. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it as that.
All right, so as that finishes your turn, you're going to look and see that it's going to kind of vibrate slightly. There's this sound as it's going to phase out of there, retreating.
I'll make a dash.
The key is still on the ground, which you will now see.
Go, Uncle, go. Yeah.
Okay, so you rush, you grab the key, picking it up. It is a very beautiful kind of gold platinum key. It has the symbol with the kind of open blank scroll of Agma on it.
And take it to the door, I guess, and use it on the door.
Okay. You slide the key into the lock of the emblazoned double door. There is a sparkle of arcane energy that fades. There's a whir of gears and mechanics that fill the antechamber that you are in as the door is going to open. Beyond the doors, let's open the doors for the viewers and yourself.
Right up against it.
Oh, what's that? Ooh.
All right. So what you see beyond the doors, let me find my spot where I was reading. There's a soft flickering light of candles mixed with the strong kind of flicker light of braziers that provide the vault's lighting situation. There's a smell of teak wood and cedar incense that are being burned in various places, along with the smell of old parchment and leather that fills your senses. There are rows of shelves filled with old, valuable tomes of history, knowledge, and lore that fill this vault of knowledge, along with beautiful handcrafted desks for research and study that rest in various alcoves of the vault. The sound of an old male voice kind of muttering, babble in soft softly emanates from the distant alcove, or one of the distant alcoves, which would be kind of this distant alcove over this way. Stepping in, which it looks like you guys have, you're going to hear, "I've been expecting you, Twilight. I sense that you have brought your faithful companion, Uncle, with you. Please, close the door. Do not let in the creature. You're also letting in a draft. The Prophet has left some things for you on that desk right over there." As you look to your right,
Yeah.
you are going to see and notice a beautiful handcrafted desk that is stacked with tomes, parchment paper, ink pots, quills, along with a small locked chest about the size of a shoebox. So,
Is this for Twilight?
what would you guys like to do?
Good and Uncle.
Was this asking the
All things are for her, yes.
all things are for you?
Well, this is quite lovely, but also quite strange. I'm sorry, but who am I speaking to?
You're going to look and you will see an older gentleman who's probably in his late 70s, early 80s, very wrinkled, bald head, has extremely wiry and bushy eyebrows, very long, thin, scraggly goatee. He has a milky left eye and a blue right eye. His back is hunched like somebody who would have been like reading or studying for years upon years. And he has a very thick, heavy, dark blue robe that kind of like covers his body, something that would definitely knock out chill and kind of keep him warm and comfortable as he kind of like turns and looks towards you. I'm Lore Master Atlafist, and I am keeper of the lost lore and the vault of knowledge. I presume you're the one that is. And he looks. Who was it who asked the question? Was it Uncle?
It was me. I asked who this was.
Oh, okay. And I presume you're the one that has been referred to by the Prophet as Twilight the Great.
Yes, people keep calling me that, but I don't feel so great, I have to say. You feel just maybe a little bit sick from that drink earlier.
Yes, they have left some things for you at the desk. Apparently things that are important to you and your research and history and saving worlds and stuff, all of that things, is what he says. Now, I must continue reading. And he dives right back into his tome that he is reading.
Well, okay. I've got so many questions, but maybe let's just go and look at the stuff first of all. We'll pester him in a couple of minutes.
If you do have questions, feel free to ask, is what you'll say.
Okay. I have to ask. This vault of knowledge, how would you sustain down here? I think I'm just going to also move a bit more into the room, try and see him a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I'll move Uncle's.
Mm-hmm. So there's a fountain in the center of the room that looks like it provides fresh running water.
Okay.
And you're going to see that there is a kind of door or archway that is over this way that has probably another chamber that leads to it. If you step there just a little bit, you'll be able to see that there's a small kind of magical circle kind of pulsing with energy like right below the steps here. And then there is another kind of a blue glowing circle over here. Your knowledge in arcane is these are small teleportation circles that one could be used for like refuse or waste, while the other one could be for receiving things from somewhere else. I would say because of your background and all the things, you would know that somewhere along the way there is another circle that they could be giving him supplies and food to sustain, and then he can get rid of his waste via the other one. And then he has running water in the fountain.
Well, it seems like you have a very nice setup here. I think I might have to get some tips. It's definitely the sort of place I'd quite like to be one day. I don't know if Uncle would like it.
It's cozy, but I do enjoy the books and the lore, so to say. You get the feeling by talking to him that he's a little senile. He kind of gives off the Master Yoda vibe
Yeah.
a little bit. But he's consumed with protecting and preserving the knowledge. And what you see in here is probably like, you would gather that this is probably the most important bits of lore and knowledge that they wanted to preserve but couldn't transport for fear of it getting lost or stolen.
I mean, this place is amazing, and I will go and have a look at my pack of information shortly. But, sorry, who left it there for me?
The prophet of the All-Father.
Do I know them?
So when you were transported to the Feywood of Solaris and you encountered Team S.A.D, essentially, you, I think, spoke with Auntie, who basically had referred to someone that he was told by a prophet of the All-Father to do these certain steps in the construction, I believe, of the staff and various things. There was also the loss of Auntie's faithful companion, lover, Daybreak, that you guys had said if we could find anything, we would try to do our best to kind of give closure to that. So this all ties in to kind of your previous visit, which is a little strange, but not based off all the research you've been doing about travel, multiverse, all that stuff. Like, it's all starting to be like, okay, this is believable, I guess you would say, or it's starting to make better sense.
Uncle will step forward and say, do you know of someone called Daybreak?
The name does not sound familiar, is what I'll say. I'm sorry, my apologies.
Oh, it's no problem, just looking for a friend. I'm sure I had his burst into questions. You have any more? Oh, so many questions. What are you currently reading? It's my first question.
Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Yeah, I can do that. 11 plus 2, 13.
This book is in pristine condition. Give me a history check.
Ooh, 14.
You can also see there's a bit of magic into it.
There's a 19 in total.
Oh, you're going to be able to identify this as a tome of understanding. This is something that can give you a boost to your statistics. This is a magical artifact.
What's his AC? No. I'm not going to fight the old man. It does look kind of cool. Maybe we should have the item. Say that again. Look at what you've been. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just I think we'll head over and just have a look at what's been left now. Have a little.
So you move over, and I feel like Uncle is going to take the heaviest chair and just loudly drag it across the floor to sit right next to you. As there's going to be like these unseen kind of presence or eyes of the lore master who's like looking at you like a librarian, watching you do this entire thing. Kind of that awkward, funny scene. You see on this desk there are 3 large tomes. One of them has titled Dante's Directory of Demonology. The second is titled The Weave. The third is titled Mordecai's Mysterious Tower of Twilight. There is a letter that has been sealed and unbroken that is left there. There is a rolled up map of the Sword Coast, which you can kind of see, kind of unfurl a little bit. And there's notations and directions on this map that looks like they've been left. There is essentially the direction or a pathway that's been drawn to near the center of the Feywood that's been scribed and says Blue Roof. Then there is one like X on the outside, on the eastern side of the Sword Coast that says your tower here in X. There is also a chest that rests there as well, it is locked. It's about the size of like a gym shoe box, essentially the size of the chest, made of like a very dark, kind of ebony colored wood. And then there's a little bit of like floral decoration kind of embellished on the lid.
So, just looking at the chest, is there... It looks like a key entry, does it?
It does. It's definitely a smaller key than the one you acquired to unlock the door.
And there's nothing been left for me, like a key or anything like that in there.
Doesn't appear to be currently, as you kind of look around the desk.
Could you
I could have ran it with my head.
I mean...
Last result?
Let's leave that one till tomorrow, shall we? I was going to shake the box. See what rattle it made. Yeah, so just looking at the map of the Sword Coast, it says your tower here. That's the first time I've seen anything like that. That's not anything it's referring to that I've known before, sorry, so I'm trying to explain.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep, there we go. So yeah, the only thing I could probably do here is if you want to make a... Give me an investigation.
Yeah, do investigation.
So you're looking at the Sword Coast map.
So 9 plus another 9, which is an 18.
So when you study the Sword Coast map a little bit, you look at the notations and things like that, the handwriting looks familiar, as if you've seen the handwriting before. But you can't place where you've seen it, but it definitely feels familiar.
Okay. And I'm intrigued by the Tower of Twilight book. I just wondered if I could
Do you
just have a skim to start with.
Sure. I will go ahead and reveal what you find in your skim. Let me see if I can do this. So if you go to that journal tab like I had talked about earlier.
Ooh.
Or it should pop up.
Yeah, it has. East of Netherlands Wood, west of Longfellow, stands the Tower of Twilight. The enchanted tower rises from the island in a small lake, drains into the woods to the west. It's invisible in sunlight. As the light fades, the tower appears. Oh. An emerald green bridge spans the water to the island, leading to an equally iridescent tower, sparkling twisted spires. No door is visible outside of the tower. During the spell plague, the Tower of Twilight vanished. The emerald green bridge that spanned the lake gone with it. Where the tower went during its time away is unknown, but since the cataclysm, Neverwinter, the Tower of Twilight reappears sporadically. No sign of the wizard who last resides in the tower, and no one knows whether anyone lives there currently. Where does the tower go, and why is its nature changed? Who or what now resides within it? This is my theory that the tower is trapped in a sort of temporal flux between various planes due to the chronomancy experiment gone awry. I think I might have said that wrong. I believe if the tower...
No, you
I'm
said
quite proud
it
of
right.
that. I believe if the tower has residence time operates differently when the tower shifts or fluxes elsewhere in the multiverse. Days, months, and even years pass without noticing. The wizard who resides there might very well still be there, so absorbed and interested inside the tower that they have not to notice nearly a century of time passing outside the tower's walls.
And you read that out loud. I will be. Is that where we'll find daybreak?
Well, that's what I'm wondering.
Inside the tower. Doesn't know how long time has passed.
Is this something to do with this multiverse? It might very well be. But it has my name in it. But, it's a time of day as well. Just my parents are very used to like things like that.
Right.
So, I feel like maybe we should try and look for this tower, and it says your tower here. Maybe we should try the map first of all, to try and find this tower here and see if it links to the tower in the book.
Agreed. Agreed entirely.
Can I... Maybe we'll just carry on going back through everything, and then I might ask this gentleman some questions from it all. So it was Dante's... I didn't quite get the rest of it.
Dante's Demonology.
Directory.
That was it.
Directory of Demonology.
And then there's a book called The Weave.
Yeah, The Weave. I'm like,
I swear there was something I missed between the Twilight.
There's
Letter.
a letter.
That was it. I missed that as well.
I was like, I know I didn't write it down, I need to ask. Well, surely that seems like a good place to start.
I mean, it
Read
does,
books.
doesn't it? Yes. Let's say that it's metagame that I started with the letter.
Okay, so we're going to start with the letter. Okay, so you take a letter opener that's on the desk, you kind of crack the seal, and it is going to be shown to you.
Ooh.
And please make sure you read these out loud so our viewers can hear. But you did a great
Oh,
job.
thank you. We've got the English teacher here.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, go on. You do this one, Uncle.
I have been faithful in my service to the All-Father, doing all that he asks me in the salvation of Solaris. If my words have found you, Twilight of Toril, planet of the Forgotten Realms, seek out your destiny of becoming Twilight the Great and aiding the saviors of Solaris by revealing the answers that lie inside your Tower of Twilight just outside the Neverwinter Wood. I have aided you the best I can without interfering and creating a paradox. You must succeed on saving Solaris to save the multiverse from the Demogorgon. He attempts to bind, destroy, and create to become. If he is successful, all will truly be lost. My heart is with you, my dearest friend. I know you can become what you were born to become, the Prophet. XOX.
Oh, hugs and kisses. I mean, he sounds a very friendly prophet. Oh, I do find this Twilight the Great still quite overwhelming.
The handwriting that was on the map coincides with this handwriting on the letter. The signature and sign-off feels extremely familiar.
To Twilight.
To me.
Well, to both of you. Uncle, this feels as if you had possibly written that letter.
It's my handwriting. Oh, Uncle.
It's
Auntie.
Auntie's,
It's Auntie's writing.
I guess.
It's not Auntie's writing.
It is mine.
Is there a cousin?
I don't want to spoil too much.
Is there a
but...
cousin? Auntie, uncle? I'm just thinking there's...
Now remember, it could be another, what they call a variant or another version.
Right.
But this feels as if the prophet that was referred to could technically be another version of...
The eyes all dotted with hearts.
The XOXO.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Correct.
So I think this has come from you, and it seems like our fate is to meet to maybe had more meaning to it than I ever hoped to and ever imagined, to be honest.
Oh, I imagined it was fate to begin with, but it does seem that whatever will lead you to be this great version of yourself is inside this tower, and these books and box may aid us in that journey.
Maybe the key's in the tower for the box. Who knows?
So we hold on plan B of me bashing it in with my horns?
I think so, and I'm just going to smuggle it into my bag before Uncle gets the wrong idea.
What are we taking? The letter?
I think
can we take
the lot?
Can we take all of it?
Yeah, it's yours. It was left for you by the prophet.
Yeah,
let's take it all.
So it's all yours to take. And
I think we'll definitely be taking it, having a good read through. I just wanted to maybe ask the gentleman, probably just shout it over from a distance. So have you heard of anything called the Prophet?
I have not. There are many prophets, but there was only one in specific that came and delivered this to me.
Do you know what they looked like?
They were shrouded in mystery, cloaked.
They always are, aren't they? Did it have any horns? Poking out from the shrouds.
The hood was drawn, I could not tell. I only have one good eye, is what he'll say.
That sounds about right.
When you guys kind of move the tomes around and start trying to pack up, you're going to find a piece of paper that is going to be kind of like underneath like the tome. And on this piece of paper, if I can find it right, is a... It looks as if it's a piece of sheet music, like you can see it.
Aww.
Faded behind the sheet music is this silhouette or an image of a key, probably about the right size that would go into the box.
Ooh.
Oh, this seems set. This does.
I think, and it's a very beautiful box.
She'll,
I think it's an uncle box.
She'll get out her violin and attempt to play the melody on the sheet music.
Okay, give me a performance.
Don't whiff it. No, I have whiffed it. 14 plus 13, big numbers. 27.
Okay, so what song do you want to play?
I don't know off the top of my head. Something vaguely like that very stirring Celtic music. Something almost like otherworldly and quite old.
So as you follow the sheet music, it'll be exactly what like you just described. So you follow it and it comes out just like that. You watch as the notes begin to like lift off the page and kind of begin to animate around the parchment. And then you see the parchment begin to like vibrate and shake as the key begins to get darker and darker and kind of like elevates and raises to the top of the page until when you finish the song, the key rests on parchment and the notes just kind of dance around you and go boop, 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 and pop like
Oh,
bubbles.
sweet. I think that's one of the best you've ever played, Uncle.
So now...
Yeah, I mean...
I'm going to let you take the key and do it.
Yeah, I assume we take the key and open the box.
Inside the box, you are going to find another key.
Ooh. Another key.
And 2 potions of superior healing along with it.
Hey. Loot.
Okay, super. So, also found some... Will this box relock with that tune? Oh, no, we've got the key now, I was going to say, otherwise we could use it as a safe space, but...
Oh, yeah.
Sure, you can keep the box. You can lock it back with the same tune.
That seems like fun.
Yeah.
Here's the trick. Here's the trick with the box. I'd say you have enough time to figure that out. If you fail the performance check, it does damage to you essentially because it's trapped. So it's a protection. It'll deal. Let me look and see. I had it written down here. It does a D8 worth of psychic damage.
I think.
And then you being kind of the one who unlocked the box, and you probably figure all this stuff out. You can write a new song to it and attach it to it, and basically what happens is anybody wanting to use it, this piece of parchment essentially is magical, so if you wish to put an item that is the size of this piece of parchment onto it, you can basically make it 2-dimensional on the parchment and lock it that way.
That's so cool. So we have a locking box and a locking parchment kind of thing. That's really cool. I like that.
It's a good way to protect an item too.
I think.
And playing the song will release essentially the item.
Like maybe when
And then how it'll work essentially is like you can scribe the song on top of the parchment, and that's what has to be played to unlock the item.
Yeah.
So the key is physical, so you would put the key potentially with the parchment or on your person.
Yeah, I think we can use them to obviously keep the key and parchment, keep anything safe inside that box.
Yeah, that sounds brilliant.
I just have this vision of one day Uncle having a really bad day and just being like trying to open it, like ow, ow, till eventually making it through,
Hitting the wrong notes.
That's the other thing is inside this box. There is a letter. You'll find it after you move the potions. There's another letter inside this box. Sorry.
Yeah, can he seal?
Yeah, it is. Breaking the sealed, and you will see that this letter says essentially like the blue roof tower is where I left the staff for you, or the staff of the Beyonder, along with a backpack of items collected on my travels to help aid you in your quest. Signed, Daybreak.
And we got that,
We've
didn't we?
got the staff.
That's where we went, and the book.
Yeah.
The thing that you didn't get is this mysterious backpack of items. The note will inform you essentially that it was locked in a desk drawer on the 3rd floor of the Blue Roof Tower, and you have a key with all these things. So you're assuming it's probably locked in a desk drawer.
We went in and got Auntie, didn't we?
Yeah,
and Auntie came out.
Yeah, because the only thing you got was the staff of the Beyonder and the journal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any final questions for this? We seem to have quite a lot of information to go through and books to read. I think we're going to be probably trying to get out of here quite safely. I mean, I wonder if we can hold this one. Or we might be able to use one of these teleportation circles or something.
Going down the trash chute.
Going down the trash chute. I don't think it's the worst idea.
They're not large enough for people to use, is what you'll hear the old man say.
I mean, I can cast teleportation circle and get us out of here, or we can maybe
Back to our tent.
go back to the tent. Yeah, let me check the spell. I actually have the spell now as we've leveled up. Ooh. As you cast a spell, 10-foot diameter, permanent teleportation circle choice.
I also have dimension door.
Oh, we can dimension door out.
Yeah, I can.
It might
I
be
can dimension
easier.
door out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're within 500 feet. I would assume we're probably below our tent area. Are we?
500 feet would probably get you back into your tent. Yeah. You'd have
We could
enough
dimension
there.
door us back to the tent, and hopefully not arouse suspicions other than a slightly erotic walk.
Pretty much.
That you came
Yeah,
on.
that sounds good.
Do you have any final questions for him?
It would only be maybe say to them, have you got anything else maybe that you might want to give us? You know, any good scrolls going? Do we like a bit of loot?
He thinks for a minute and he says, no, they all belong here, is what I'm saying.
That's fair. Well, thank you for taking in this information. I think you might have really helped, but I still don't know how I can help yet.
The books will reveal all, is what he'll say.
It seems that way.
Maybe
They always do.
we head to our tent and settle in for some reading.
Yeah, I think that'd be. Yeah, I reckon we'll read in the tent over some dancing lights.
Yeah. So,
So you guys will cast
yeah,
Dimension Door?
to take us back to our tent.
Awesome. So you will walk through the door together and then walk out into your tent. It is still very early in the morning. It's very quiet. There doesn't seem, or you don't hear too much activity taking place. And everything seems to feel successful. Did you guys want to read these books before
Yeah, that'd be good.
taking a long
Yeah,
rest?
let's read some books.
Okay. Which one do you want to read next?
We could go in order.
Well, we could take a book each, essentially. Yeah. So the demonology book, Dante's.
I can read that one because that's probably might be a bit scary for you. Do you want to take the lead?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Here is the demonology.
I'll read that one.
It's a bit of a
Cool.
read.
Okay. Here's a picture. Do you want me to read it out? No.
Yes, please, so that everybody can hear it.
The Prince of Demons. In all my years of adventuring, research, study, and various demons of the Nine Hells, only one deserves the fear, respect, and the title of the Prince of Demons, the Demogorgon. One of the several demon lords, the Demogorgon, is the embodiment of chaos, madness, and destruction, seeking to corrupt all that is good and undermine order in the multiverse, to see everything dragged howling into the infinite depth of the abyss. The Demon Lord is a meld of different forms with a
Assyrian body. Or, yeah.
Assyrian, but can't say that one, sorry. Syrian.
Yeah.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Anne.
Lower body and clawed webbed feet, as well as suckered tentacles sprouting from the shoulders of the great ape-like torso, surmounted by two hideous Samians heads and named Amuel and Hathra. I'm going to get that one. Hathdraya? Yeah.
No, there's no R in it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
both
Something like
equally mad. The gaze brings madness and confusion to any who confront it. Similarly, can never say that word, the spiraling wire design of Demogorgon's cults can inspire madness in those who contemplate it for far too long. All followers of the Prince of Demons go mad sooner or later. The region containing the Prince of Demons layers is wrapped by his magic, creating one or more of the following effects. The area within 6 miles of the Demogorgon's lair becomes overpopulated with lizards, poisonous snakes, and other venomous beasts. Beasts within 1 mile of the Demogorgon's lair seems to become violent and crazed, even creatures that are normally docile. If one spends a short or long rest within the close proximity of the Prince of Demons, the Prince of Demons quickly descends into fits of madness. All of these ancient writings and texts that I've discovered involving the Demogorgon state that the beast is resistant to cold, icy stings, flames, intense flicker, and storm lightning. The effects of the poisons, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing have no effect on the Prince of Demons. The beast is unable to be charmed, frightened, and never suffers from exhaustion. His sight is beyond all sight, true as can be. Needless to say, if one finds oneself in front of the master of spiraling depths, make peace with thy God and pray for a quick end. Ooh,
Dark.
they sound nasty.
Mm-hmm. And now the final book,
Of course I can.
The
I'll
Weave.
bring you forward a bit as well.
Okay. What is the weave?
There are multiple chapters in this book.
Okay, so first chapter, what is the weave? The weave is considered many things, including Mistra's body, the source of magic. All students of casters, arcane and divine alike, and the many energies and forces that exist around the planes and multiverse. Many see the weave as a fabric on which magic is drawn, and damaging this fabric causes magic to go awry. Preparing a spell is the means by which a small amount of the weave can be contained and transported for a specific effect, while the casting of the spell is the equivalent of telling the weave to rearrange itself in order to create the desired prepared effect. Ley lines. Ley lines are a large collection of raw magic, the weave, that flow through unseen channels or pathways like veins of a living creature, supplying the weave of raw magic to those with the ability to capture its essence and convert it to magic/spells. Surges in the ley line are caused by instabilities or immense draws/usage of the weave, which result in ruptures in the ley lines, creating pools, fonts, or wells of exposed raw magic, or catastrophic events, events sometimes resulting in dead zones or wild magic zone. Accessing these pools, wells, or fonts of raw magic directly is extremely dangerous due to their ability to alter the function and stability of the weave. The loom. While not proven, many theologists believe through extensive research and studies that the centre of the extensive planes scattered throughout the vast scope of the multiverse lies one connecting conduit or connection that feeds the weave to these various locations of the multiverse. That connection has been labelled the loom. It is believed that the loom houses multiple variants of the god magic and provides their adaptation of the weave to their place in the multiverse. This collection of variants has been labelled the Weavers. And the final chapter is Variant Weaves. While one thing that remains consistent throughout history of the weave in theory is the loom is the other entities attempting to create their own weave in their own image and attempt to replace Mistra, the goddess of magic. 1. The Shadow Weave. This weave was constructed by the goddess Shah and also referred to as the Dark Lady's Weave. It has resulted in the creation of shadow magics, and as this tether of the weave was constructed in the negative space between outside of the reach of Mistra's influence. And the second is Demon Weave. The weave was constructed by Loth upon the demise of Mistral, the first form of the reincarnated Mistra, using the remains of her torn weave to re-establish a connection to magic. The demon weave drained both power and stability from what remained of Mistress Weave, as Love had not managed a solution to sustain it herself. That's all of it.
Curiouser and curious.
Yeah. I was just thinking, does understanding more about the weave and help me understand my staff anymore? How to harness it? Probably not yet.
It definitely enlightens you on what it can do and the power of it. It probably would make it a lot easier to travel or traverse the various planes or realms. But all this knowledge is probably extremely valuable based off everything that's taking place elsewhere.
Would we have time to describe some of this into the book that the wider party would have access to?
I would allow you to choose one of the passages to scribe.
I was thinking the demigorgons because they seem to be struggling with those a lot more.
For this episode.
Yeah.
For this
I
episode.
would say it's the demigorgons.
Yeah, because we know they were fighting those. And
they mentioned that to us themselves.
Yeah, a way to help fight, how to help defeat them.
Yeah, so
you guys will take the rest of the time to kind of start transpiring the notes essentially.
With a detailed drawing of Daryl.
In his armour? Or?
No, without the armour.
Without the armour.
Without the armour. Just a detailed drawing of this muscular man.
Twilight just writes, I'm sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm so sorry for the drawing. I couldn't stop her.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, I think after you guys do that, you will take a much needed long rest, sleep away, get your rest in. And this looks like a great place to end this special chapter of our tale. I want to thank you, ladies of the Insight Chicks, for joining me today and playing this out. And ladies, if you wouldn't mind, tell everyone where they can find you.
You can find us at Insight Chicks on Instagram. And thank you so much for having us on again. We really, really appreciate it.
It's been brilliant. Really fun.
Oh, yeah. As for me, if you all liked what you saw, you can check us out on YouTube, Creating Grin. You can click the subscribe button down below, smash the bell button to keep up to date on the newest episodes. Leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up on the video. You can find us on our socials. We got Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. I believe they are all three at crit_eating_grin. We're on the TikTok at Creating Grin, all one word. And if you want to chat with me or the Crit crew, you can hit us up on our Discord, Creating Grin. And until next time, keep grinning.